This month on HMP, we've been asking, is this a Christmas movie? But on this, the week of Christmas, we had to get as close to the pin as humanly possible. And boys, I think we've done it. Welcome to Half-Ass Movie Podcast.
Now is this a Christmas movie? Now is this a Christmas movie? Now is this a Christmas movie? Or is it dumb slop?
Welcome back, you dirty babies. It's time for another Half-Ass Movie Podcast, a show where we put together a half-ass theme as an excuse to watch movies. My name is Adam Porters, and joining me today, there's still a chance to get him a smokeless ashtray for Christmas. Sweet Sean's and Kovacs from the internet.
Hey, remember when that dumb kid and his hot girlfriend almost destroyed the entire town and are responsible for the death of close to a dozen people?
And you can't put that many steps between him and orange juice, Bruce Leslie.
Hey guys, just finished up my shift at Chippendales, threw on a Christmas sweater, and I'm here to celebrate.
Hey, listen, he's here for you, everybody. You're welcome. And we are back again with our question, is this a Christmas movie and everything? But I feel like we had to get something that was as close to humanly Christmas as possible this
Because we
week.
didn't know. We didn't know if the other movies would make it. And there's nothing lamer than when you have four movies and or five movies in this case, and not a single one of them it passes the test. That'd be so lame.
Yeah, you at least got to have something that comes at least fairly close to getting something in there, or crossing the threshold for sure. Thank God last week, we crossed into that area. So, whew.
I've lived my whole life according to one rule, and that is if someone asks if you want to watch Gremlins, you say yes.
Yeah, I mean, if you're smart, you do. If you have any kind of brains inside of your head, you know what I'm saying? We'll get to all of that, but before we jump into that review, I want to remind everyone that this show is over at youtube.com, and we are streaming live every Sunday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern, and you can come out there and be one of the dirty babies in the chat and do this.
Fortress Bucks.
Because we've already got one right off the top here. Our good buddy Robert has joined in and said, super sticker. That's a $10 just right there. Robert is the man. He's been a follower for a long time. Bathroom buddy for Bruce, he says.
I love it.
If there's anybody that has that kind of Hoyt Axton energy over here, it is absolutely Bruce Leslie. Hey, let me, like, he's got a little card in his vest and everything ready to go. He's got some bullshit line. This is Bruce to a T. I love it.
I have loved Hoyt Axton ever since that time he was a guest on WKRP in Cincinnati.
I've got a question for you guys, I came up with it as I was watching Gremlins for the first time in a very long time this week, which is if Billy's dad is played instead of by Hoyt, he's instead played by a stop motion snowman. Does the movie lose anything at all?
I don't know, man. I like Hoyt.
I'm going to say it gains something. It gains a little extra. If you put Hoyt into a snowman instead, I'm giving the points to the snowman.
When somebody, hold on a second, Bruce. When somebody is offering information like that and you can have a buffet with it, you don't say no. Just so you know, that's the way that those rules work.
Mm-hmm.
Like generally, that's the way those rules work. You don't go, no, I like Hoyt. Move on.
Is that why I didn't get a call back at UCB?
Well, that and you didn't call them.
You always know when I'm lying, Sean. I don't like that.
Well, that's because your lies kind of go to the moon and back real fast.
We've got so much to cover here because it is Gremlins, and I've got so many bloody notes. But I've got to say this. When I was a very, very angry stand-up comic, and I was like 22 years old, I wanted to see what it would take to get into Second City. And so I looked on their website, and their website was nothing but like interpersonal jokes between the cast and stuff.
Ooh.
And so I sent them this scathing email about how like all I wanted to do was to get information on how to join Second City, and instead it's this crap. And like, you guys should be ashamed of yourself. That blah 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 blah. So much people's work, and I sent it, and I was like, that's right, I did it. And then hold on, wait. And then they sent me an email back, and it literally just said, you're right.
Yeah, pretty much.
Felt so bad I felt so bad about it. I was like, I'm never doing that again ever. It was so good. It was such a good response. Oh
man.
All right.
It's really the only way to answer that. I got to remember that next time somebody just comes out at me, both guns blazing, about how terrible I am. I'm just going to, yep.
That's correct.
I confess. You got me.
I will say, though,
I'm out to ruin your job wrapping packages.
Sean's over here says, like, I wrote this like scathing thing. I'm just like, it's a wonder we're friends. It's like, it all adds up, really. It's just like, like attracts like a lot of times, people. It's just like, you know what? We're a lot more like than we are different, this group.
But Porches, because of that experience, I would never do that now, like ever. Literally because of that one experience. Like, they taught me, like, don't be a prick. Like, just don't be like, just be nice.
Yeah.
Like, that's all you gotta do. Like, it's really easy. Just be nice, man. And that's and I literally learned that from them.
And the nicest of the nice people support this show over at patreon.com/HMP. They get pre-show, post-show, Dinger Zone. And why don't you look at this glorious list of names here of all of these glorious dirty babies that support this show with a monetary value of whatever they desire. They put it onto a thing, they send it to us, and they get all those things in return. Sean loves it. It's the value for value. Whatever you get out of this program, put that right back in there.
You just slipped that in there.
To get you right back in there before the end of the year. Am I right or am I right? I'm right. So go check all of that out. Patreon.com/HMP. Like I said, pre-show, post-show, Dinger Zone. Dinger Zone this week, we're talking our top 5 non-R-rated horror films because the old Gremlins here, man, we're going to talk about the amount of deaths and stuff in this bad boy, but it's kind of crazy for a PG-rated film, but we'll talk about all of that. And you can get all that on the live stream. Stay on the live stream after the main show here and stick it out for that Dinger Zone, or go to patreon.com/HMP and do all those other great stuff. All right, let's get into it, fellas. Here is the IMDb plot line for Gremlins from 1984. As we know, IMDb. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Let me switch to the right thing here. I got 15 things to do on the show at one time. Here we go. All right, IMDb plotline. As we know, IMDb always 100% correct in everything they say and or do. After receiving an exotic small animal as a Christmas gift, a young man inadvertently breaks 3 important rules concerning his new pet, which unleashes a horde of malevolently mischievous creatures on a small town. I can't believe I hit that as well as I did.
Good job, Portrait.
This was written by a still in film school at the time, Christopher Columbus, good grief, who would go on to do everything from Home Alone to the first 2 Harry Potter films. This is directed by Joe Dante, of course, did Piranha, Rock and Roll High School, The Howling, Explorers, The Burbs, Matinee, and Small Soldiers. This is starring Zach Galligan, Phoebe Cates, Hoyt Axton, Polly Holiday, Judge Reinhold, Dick Miller, Corey Feldman, and that's just for Bruce, obviously. Howie Mandel, Frank Welker, Michael Winslow, Peter Cullen, and anyone else in Hollywood at the time who was making noises with their mouths. They were in this movie.
So one of the first things I want to say that just came shining through, especially at the beginning of this movie, and you don't really notice it because, of all the gremlining that's happening in this movie.
Maybe gremlin.
Is just how good an actor the dog in this movie is. This movie has one of our finest dog actors. I still think that dog that's in The Mask is still the best dog actor I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
But the dog in this movie is so good that, like, you could have a spinoff of, like, Barney the Bank Dog, and it, like, you would lose nothing if it was like, like some cartoon 15 minutes on wherever Cartoon Network is now. Is that HBO Max?
Sure.
So like like these little 15-minute bang 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 Barney the Bank Dog solving. First of all, you got him solving like bank robberies. You got him solving mysteries. There's the whole Gremlins thing. Maybe he has a love interest. Like, there's a lot you could do with Barney from this movie. He is so good. There's that one moment where at the beginning where Billy's trying to turn over the car like his VW, and it's not working. The dog is sitting in the passenger seat, and it's looking out the windshield, but there's snow over it. And so, like, the dog is just like, why is this car not moving? Like, you can see what the dog is thinking, looking at looking through the windshield. It's not looking at the camera. It's not looking at the other crew. Shit, it's not even looking at Billy. Like, he's looking out the window like, come on, let's go. And I was just like, that dog is amazing. That dog is amazing, man.
Do you think at any point that dog was wondering why there's so much snow in Southern California?
Probably, and probably worried about, like, is this non-toxic? Because it is just before they started using, like, water with their snow.
Oh man, this you told me you've done the backlot tour, or maybe you've just been on the backlot at Universal. I've just done like the public tour, which is awesome. Recommend it to anybody who loves movies. But when you see like the actual size of that town square, and then you see just how thick the snow is, I almost have a panic attack imagining the cleanup after they finish filming. Because that is a lot of snow there. I just got people to understand. I don't know. It's a lot of crushed up asbestos that they used as snow there.
Yeah, they used to. I mean, I don't know. 84. I don't think they're using it anymore, but maybe.
And you were talking about Animal Actor, the dog. But this movie almost had a much, much larger cast of animal actors. Did either of you guys run across the monkey experiment in pre-production testing?
Yeah, Joe Dante's idea, right? Use monkeys. Yeah,
put masks on monkeys and make them gremlins. And I kind of want to see that test footage, because there is no way that it is not entertaining to watch a monkey freak out because you're trying to put a mask on it. And I don't like to be cruel to monkeys, but it already happened. I just want to see like rip Joe Dante's nose off or something.
Listen, that's what they end up doing. Come on now.
So hold on, because I this is from the oral history from The Ringer in 2024. I read the whole article. It's awesome. If you love Gremlins, you got to read that oral history from The Ringer in 2024. So Joe Dante's original idea was to put monkeys into the Gremlins costumes, but when they interviewed Joe Dante, during the interview, Joe Dante had this to say about it, and it's the quote from the actual article. Here it is. "We got a rhesus monkey and put a gremlin's head on him, and he bounced around the editing room and shit all over everything. And it became quite apparent that this was not the way we were going to do it," end quote. Come on, man.
Oh, but imagine like a 70s version of Gremlins made for the drive-in with monkeys and masks, and what a cult, like, legendary film that would be now.
Listen, the dog also is amazing. They talk about the dog a little bit in the audio commentary and stuff. So it's not lost on them either of how good this dog is. They were just like, this dog is unbelievable. He's so good. He hits the mark on everything. He reacts exactly like you want him to, and he's like, there were two people on this set who genuinely believed that these gremlins were real. Number one was this dog. Number two was Corey Feldman.
Oh man. Corey Feldman, always awesome. I'm pretty sure this is his first feature role. First role in a feature film is what I'm trying to say.
No way, man. He's in Bad News Bears.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't think it's the first one. I think it's the second one.
Okay. The one where they go to the Astrodome?
Yes. And
then the third one, they go to Japan. I didn't realize he was in that second one. This was my first recollection of running across Corey Feldman then. In a movie, and I liked him right from the get-go. He seemed like a believable kid, and 10 years old when I go to see this movie. And how old's he in this? About 10, 11, right? I mean,
somewhere in that neighborhood,
about my age. Yeah. So he was obviously the character that I related to and latched onto on a movie that I really loved on a weekend where people mine and Sean's age really had a decision to make. I don't know. Are we going to talk about that, Sean?
Yeah, we totally can.
Oh, Friday the 13th, same year. Friday the 13th, final chapter, same year.
But
really?
The same weekend in 1984, like, kids today don't know what they're missing out on, because we went to the theater with our parents on a Friday after school, and we had to decide, are we going to be a Ghostbusters kid or a Gremlins kid? Because they both came out on the same weekend. Now, I was clever, you see. I got my dad to take me to Ghostbusters on Friday, and I got my aunt to take me to Gremlins on Saturday. So I got to get them both in, but it was rare that I got 2 trips to the movie theater in the same month, let alone weekend.
Yeah, but so did I. We saw Ghostbusters first and then Gremlins like later, like 2 weeks later.
And there was this phenomenon back at elementary school when because this was a summer release. So by the time elementary school came, there were some kids who had to make that choice. Am I going to be a Ghostbusters kid or a Gremlins kid? And the Gremlins kids all wish they'd seen Ghostbusters. The Ghostbusters kids all wish they'd seen Gremlins, because both movies are so great that the one that got away is going to be like the love of your life you're always obsessed with. But man, what a good weekend at the theaters. Much better than when Silent Night, Deadly Night had to go up against like Peter Rabbit or something. That was very good.
It's something like, because there's like 3, we just mentioned 2 of the big 3 that year too, 84, because number 1 is Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, right? Which comes out a month earlier. Like it's an embarrassment of riches.
I saw the Temple of Doom with my cousin and mom in Kentucky, so that was probably before the end of the school year. And then I saw these in the summer, so that was during summer break because I was in West Virginia. That's how I remember what time of year things come out, is by what state I was in.
Where was I at?
Do you?
Yeah, so it goes 84. You got Indiana Jones, Temple of Doom is number 1 at the box office. Number 2 is Ghostbusters. Number 3 is Gremlins. So like, I mean, come on, man, it's all it's like in a month period. Get out of here.
Such a beautiful time to grow up. It really was, man. There's nothing that even compares, because even if the movie is good as Ghostbusters and Gremlins comes out, it just gets drowned out because it's strange because there's less being produced, but more being thrown at us at the same time. Does that make sense to either of you guys?
Yeah.
And it's just not like the experience. I much prefer, from a selfish point of view, as a viewer, when movies were harder to make and distribute, because they were, I think they put more effort into the ones that they had instead of trying to throw as many up against the wall and see what sticks.
Matt in the chat corrects you here, Sean. Corey Feldman is not in the Bad News Bears, but there is a character named Jimmy Feldman. So that may be where
I just looked it up, and he's in the TV series, which ran for, I think, 1 season. And 1 season, 26 episodes, 1979 to 1980.
Man, they worked them like dogs back then, dude. And honestly, even to the 2000s, they worked them like dogs.
They really did, man.
They're lucky that they're not on the news. Those guys have to work how many episodes? 360?
Man, that was, working in news, that was always the best, because it was just like, well, you get 0 holidays, so go on into that. And I was like, oh, fun, great.
Also, if a major disaster or weather gets really bad, we need you twice as much that day.
Yeah, it's just like, there's a snowstorm, we'll be buying your hotel in town so you can't leave. I'm like, oh, great.
Mm-hmm. And that's just for the guy that changes the trash bags.
No kidding, it's weird. Listen, this movie, like, it has that, like you said, Bruce, it's on that back lot and everything. So that was one of the things that they kind of talked about, is that juxtaposition of how, like, weirdly so, they thought these out of the wall kind of crazy creatures would almost look more real when compared to this, kind of cityscape background here and everything that looks a little bit fake. That'll add like a little bit more realism and verisimilitude to those characters and stuff. And I think that was a good juxtaposition, and it really works. And like I said, you can kind of control all of those elements and everything. And in a show like this, where you've got so much going on, you've got to be able to control those elements. And one of the things I found surprising when digging into this is they said one of the things that we had that no one else has was time. We had time to do stuff. So that's why things look as good and as are amazing as they are, is because they weren't quite under the gun like, most other studios would be. And I feel like Steven Spielberg being attached had a lot to do with that.
Sure. Yeah. He can run interference with the suits, like all of that stuff. Also, like, you can't really tell that it's on a it's on a back lot, but you can't tell that it's the same back lot from Back to the Future until you get to the movie theater scene. Like once you're outside and on the street and you're about to walk into that movie theater, you're like, well, that's the exact same movie theater.
But there are a couple of
Back
spots.
to the Future, that Universal backlot.
Everywhere through there are a couple of spots where, like, you go into the bank or something, and there's always something that seems a little bit familiar about each set that you're going to. And it ain't just because you've seen Gremlins 15 times. It's because these sets are in a whole bunch of movies and television shows and stuff. So everything's going to look a little vaguely familiar.
You want to feel you want to hear a frustrating story about this backlot?
Yeah.
So I was talking to my wife, Karen, and I said, we've seen this square in Back to the Future.
Wrong. You said it wrong.
My wife, Karen?
My wife.
My wife.
My wife. Oh, I'm sorry.
I
was totally thought, what did I say? I was afraid I missed something.
She's like, that's her name. I know. What?
Karan?
I said, we've seen this square in Back to the Future. We've seen this square in Gremlins. Do you remember another time you've seen this square? And she's like, was it in Dawson's Creek? And I said, no, Karen, you've been there. She said, no, I haven't. I said, we took that back lot tour, and I pointed and said, that's the square from Gremlins and Back to the Future. Isn't this cool? And she said, oh, I wasn't paying attention.
That sounds about right. That sounds about like a wife.
That was kind of funny.
You mean you were just going on again about this, that, and the other? I just learned to tune you out after a while. We all do it.
She's like, all I remember is that Get Out scene, the Get Out set, and that's all she remembers.
That's the extent to it.
Now, I ran across like rumorish stuff, and I just want to ask you guys if you think that this might have a grain of truth to it, or is it just like the old apocryphal stuff that you run across online? But I had read a rumor that Steven Spielberg had strongly considered to make this Tim Burton's first directorial feature. Apparently, Spielberg, I guess, was familiar with Frankenweenie, was what I read. Do you think there's not much truth to that one?
I don't think that's a really cool rumor, but I don't think so, because Joe Dante was next, right? Like, it's kind of the way that Spielberg worked back then, is like, I'm going to help this guy. I'm going to help these two guys. I'm going to help this guy. Like, and Joe Dante just happened to be next.
And I think a lot of people don't realize
Hooper,
that, like, that group of dudes were very much boys with everybody. Yeah. They were like, all of these guys were friends. Half of them went to school together, and the ones that didn't go to school together ended up hanging out on movie sets and becoming very, very cool. And those guys, they all helped each other out throughout all the years and stuff. You see cinematographers go in between these guys and stuff like that. There's all kinds of just, backroom handshakes between buddies and stuff like that. So, like, this being Joe Dante's thing is 1,000. I can't see it going to anybody else, especially with how this movie is and the kind of style and stuff that's in this. It's so Joe Dante, it's ridiculous. And he won't really get to what's beyond that until Gremlins 2: The New Batch, but we'll do that at some point.
Which is just a middle finger to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that the like, this is what puts it best. Let's see, where are we? Sorry, let me find it. It's in my notes here. So, man, I just don't have it on me. Sorry.
That's all right.
Is this Joe Dante's peak performance? his first time out the gate?
No. What are you talking about? Like, Joe Dante? No, this is like, he's had plenty. Like I said, he had Piranha and like Rock and Roll High School.
I'm sorry. Is this his peak though? I guess.
Is this his best movie?
First time out of the gate, which was inappropriate. But I mean, do you think this is his best film?
I think ultimately it might be. Matinee's pretty good.
Okay. So I'm going to ask a normal person. Sean, which do you think is a better film, Matinee or Gremlins?
I mean, Gremlins. Come on, get out of here.
I mean,
I found it. So the story goes like this. Like, to give you an example of just how much Joe Dante was always going to be the director of this, Bruce, is that so where Phoebe Cates tells my dad died and blah blah blah, and like that whole scene. So executives wanted out of the movie, right? They wanted out of the movie desperately. Everybody hates it. But Joe Dante, it's the reason, he claims it's the reason why he took the movie in the first place. Right. I
love that. He thinks it's the heart and the soul of this whole film, is that scene.
Right. And so they say, so this whole story then. So that the executives say to Dante, well, we'll talk to Steven Spielberg about this, and we'll see what he has to say to you about that. And so they talk to Spielberg. Spielberg goes, "It's his." This is quoting. "It's his movie. I don't even get it. I don't know what it is that he likes about it, but it's his movie. Leave it in there." End quote from Steven Spielberg. That's how much this was Joe Dante's movie from the bloody beginning. Like, there was no way that this was going to be somebody else's movie.
To paraphrase the beloved musical Hamilton, it must be nice to have Spielberg on your side.
Yeah, that's not a bad thing. Oh, here we go, boys and girls.
Fortress Bucks.
Matt says, Joe Dante's best film for me is Inner Space from 1987.
You know, that's a good film.
We
It is
covered
not
Inner
to
Space
be
on the
as good as
podcast.
Gremlins.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember, you know, I used to be a big fan of the Quaid brothers, as everyone is.
I'm a bigger fan now of their work right now.
Okay. I thought you meant you're a big...
Very moment when they're doing nothing.
It took me a second. I was like, okay.
Seems like a weird flex, but whatever you want to do. I mean, it's a free country.
He knows movies better than I do. I'm not going to argue with that.
We'll just let him go.
That's not true. You know horror movies way more than me.
The reason I asked about that, though, is because this is nothing you guys haven't heard before, but the whole idea that Spielberg kind of ghost directed some of this, and that's why this seems to be a step above Gremlins 2. I think you heard the same thing on Poltergeist, like he ghost directed Poltergeist.
He wasn't
Poltergeist, yes, but he did not touch directing at all on this. He was very hands off. Actually, he made some big decisions during the the screenwriting process and the earlier drafts, but like he and I'm sure he showed up the set and gave his 2 bits, which, you know, who has better 2 bits than Steven Spielberg? But like, he's not directing anything. And I mean, like, Adam, back me up on this. Like, this movie is Joe. It feels like it's directly out of Joe Dante's loins.
His DNA is all over this film. Like you can't, like, you watch Poltergeist and you can go like, oh, these are very Steven Spielberg moments versus Tobe Hooper moments, and you can look at Tobe Hooper's filmography and, you know, you can compare and contrast, and arguments can be made. But with this, it so screams Joe Dante and his style that, like, it's almost unmistakable in a way. Like, so much so that, like, we got Chuck Jones in the movie. We got an animated man in the movie, for crying out loud, because they were just like, hey, Chuck, we're huge fans of yours. Do you want to come on to the thing and, like, you know, tell Billy his art's good and stuff like that? I was like, yeah, sure. Why not?
Go ahead, Bruce.
When you're in the orbit of such a big ball of talent that I can't even grasp how Spielberg can have all the facets of gifts that he has. I mean, he directs as well as Kubrick, but he's able to do it without psychologically torturing his cast, and able to do it without hating the entire film industry. He can enjoy movies. He can put all of the work that someone like Nolan does into something people actually can hear the dialogue. I mean, he has the talent of any director, but what he loved to make were movies for everybody. Mm-hmm. And when you're in the orbit of that, I would compare that to, let's say you're Jason Todd and you go out and you stop the Joker all by yourself. Everybody's going to be like, you know, Batman really did it, and just let him take the credit. I feel like whenever you're in Spielberg's orbit, people are going to say, well, it's impossible for me to love this movie this much and Spielberg not to have made it.
Yeah.
And I think that's where some of those, like, people just refuse to admit other people are good too.
There is one, like, there is a reason to answer your first question. Like, how does someone get that much talent? Yes, from an early age, he started kind of like fine tuning what would later become like self-editing in his head. Like, he started doing that very early on. But the real answer is this, is that he had everything else. Like, making movies is the thing he knows. Anything outside of that, good luck.
Yep.
Like, that's kind of how he does it. And I just know that from I have never worked with the man, but the guy who trained me, taught me, has told me many stories about this man, and that he is gifted. He is truly, truly talented. the other part to Spielberg that that no one ever discusses is that he has the other part too that nobody has on the creative side. He is one of the most creative people ever, but he also is really good with money. And that is not something that exists. No one has that. There's maybe you can maybe name 10 people on the planet who have that. And he's one of them.
I've never read any glowing reports of Kubrick coming in under budget,
Well, right. Because he is like genius level auteur, but he is an idiot with money.
And I keep making that comparison to Kubrick for a reason. A lot of other folks have said like Spielberg is what Kubrick would have been if he actually were not mentally ill or something, if he didn't have some kind of problem. And I mean, it's like with that movie, what was it? AI, the movie that Kubrick kind of wanted to start, and he handed off. Who are you going to hand it off to? Nobody but Spielberg can pick up from that guy. And it's cool because they're so totally different in style, but they're both like eat, sleep, breathe movies and don't quite know how to tie their shoes.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of that David Spade joke. Because David Spade has the perfect joke about Paul McCartney. His wife dies and he gets remarried almost immediately. But Paul McCartney gets a pass because the lady that he marries very quickly soon after doesn't have both her legs.
Yeah.
And so you're like, well, that seems a little early and weird. Oh, she's got one leg. Oh, I guess that's okay.
It's fine. I guess.
To see the total pass. So like when somebody when somebody hears like, oh, Stanley Kubrick was working on this movie called AI for like 20 years. Like he hasn't figured out how to do it all. Oh, you know what? There's somebody coming in and he's going to back cleanup for this movie. And you're like, how dare they? How dare they do that? It's Steven Spielberg. Oh, you know what? That's just fine.
I think I'll be all right with that. That's cool.
Like, oh, it's about damn time then.
If I can go backwards for a second, because we were talking about the Joe Dante-ness of this movie, and I don't want to lose that track because this is more of a question for Adam than for you, Bruce. But what is the most Joe Dante moment in this movie? Because I came up with two. Is it shooting Mrs. D'Angelo or not Mrs. Deagle? Mrs. Deagle out of the window from her stairlift chair, which is so very, very Joe Dante? Or is it when Robbie the robot is taking a sales call on the other payphone? And I literally had to quote this because it's so good. He goes, "I rarely use it myself, sir. It promotes Rust." Now, so what is the more Joe Dante moment of those? Like, can you think of a more Joe Dante moment?
Adam?
No, I don't think so. Like, because both of because those are great because they're high up there for very different reasons.
Right.
Very different reasons, but very much still of the same, ilk, the Joe Dante-ness of it all. It makes sense.
Right.
Now, Sean, I am not a difficult creature to understand. Like, I think you will know what I'm about to say. But I like Mrs. Deagle getting thrown out of the window because in my mind, I add her saying a certain line as she's flying through the air in a decrescendo fashion. You know what that line is, Sean?
I don't.
Kiss my grits.
Oh, of course. Kiss my grits.
I've wanted to make a fan edit where I kind of take the line from Alice and put it over that, but I got to make a way to make it sound like it's getting quieter as you're going away.
That's pretty simple to do in this day and age. Come on now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I need to name check this for a second, just because I'm using so much of their work. So whenever I'm talking about stuff that happened behind the scenes, and I seem so cocksure of all of this, it's because I'm pulling all of this information from the Ringer 2024 oral history written by Alan Siegel. And like, he's got he's just got access to like Zach Galligan and Phoebe Cates and Joe Dante and the special effects guy whose name I'm not remembering right now. And he even talks to Howie Mandel during it. Like, there is a lot of access. The only thing that he doesn't have access to is basically Spielberg, and everyone else is talking about Spielberg behind the scenes. So you kind of don't miss it.
I have seen Michael Winslow live. I don't know if either of you guys have. I feel like you should have, Sean, because you've just been around so many clubs over the years.
Of course.
Well, he talks a lot about Gremlins because, of course, he does a ton of voices for all the 1,000 background Gremlins or whatever. And he talks a lot about it in his show, and I always enjoy that. That's the closest I get to feeling like I'm part of an oral history of something. But I enjoy that. And then he put up some clips and just using, the stage.
He's doing a clip show?
Well, he did Gremlins, and he was actually recreating the original stuff.
I thought you were just being like, he's like, I was in Gremlins, and then everybody in the audience going, bullshit, and he's just like, no, roll the clip.
It'd been great. Imagine if instead of Corey Feldman, it had been Michael Winslow wearing that Christmas tree costume.
Just totally playing the small child.
Right. Exactly. No dialogue changes. Nobody explains anything.
It's just this adult man who's just busting into his house going, I got your tree here.
Sitting in. By the way, guys, which is creepier? Michael Winslow sitting in Billy's room looking at comics, or 10-year-old Corey Feldman sitting in guy who works at the bank's bedroom looking at comics? I kind of would want to check in on my kid a little bit. That's not your normal friendship ages there.
I'd like to give a little bit of credit, just say maybe we just, it was a different time, which was probably a worse time, but it was a different time, and that's what you just have to tell yourself. And this is fine, whatever, just,
totally fine.
Try not to think about it.
Here's the difference between the 80s and the 2020 somethings. Now we're very uncomfortable with it when we shouldn't be because nothing's going on. Then we were totally comfortable with it when we shouldn't have been because it turned out a lot of crap was going on.
That's fair.
We just can't get it right.
That's a good assessment. That's kind of good.
So one last thing about that Joe Dante style, which they bring up, of course, in the article, which is that because Joe Dante loves this quote about his movies. And a critic once described Joe Dante's movies as Joe Dante movies are movies that are at the same time Mad Magazine parodies of Joe Dante movies and are also just Joe Dante movies.
Yeah.
And he loves that quote so much that he literally says it all the time and like interviews constantly. He brings up that critique of his movies because he's like, yeah, that tracks. That's exactly right. And when you think about the way that Gremlins 2 is put together, it really does almost feel like a Mad Magazine parody of Gremlins.
It's like you're flipping through pages and stuff too, because each different sort of scene and stuff is like a new kind of, a new bit in the book and stuff like that. So it's very much like a Mad Magazine is that. It's like, oh, here's the next little thing. And it's just yet another parody of Gremlins.
So Adam, do you know the story about Piranha, with Joe Dante directing it, and that's kind of how he gets on Spielberg's radar? Do you know that story?
I mean, as much as Piranha's kind of a Jaws ripoff and everything, and I'm sure that would kind of get on somebody's radar of just going like, oh, we're making an even lower budget, because Jaws, while a Universal picture and everything, still was fairly low budget, all things considered. And then we're doing an even lower budget version of Jaws with, smaller fish, but there's a whole bunch of them in the piranhas and they're stinking.
So here's the deal. So here's what happens, right? So they make this obvious Jaws ripoff with Piranha, right? With Roger Corman. And Universal's about to file an injunction. And the person who stops the injunction is Steven Spielberg, because he found it to be a funny, winking tribute to the movie Jaws. And so he's like, I like the cut of that guy's jib. Give me a meeting with that guy. And from literally that point forward, Joe Dante is in the Spielberg camp. Are you kidding me?
Not only that, Spielberg hires the guy. I mean, that shows exactly you the level of character.
That's what I'm saying.
And then the guy I keep comparing him to, Kubrick, actually tried to get a restraining order preventing 2010 from ever being made because he did not want a sequel to his movie. It's totally different people who were very close to each other. I love the stories there. But yeah, kids, if you want to make movies, aim to be a little more Spielberg and a little less Kubrick, maybe.
You could do worse.
Yeah.
Aim for the most successful director of all time. That's what Bruce's advice is, everybody.
What I'm going to say is if you try to be like Spielberg and you fail, you still might have a career. You try to be like Kubrick and you fall short of his level of quality of film, you're not going to work.
You might end up in jail.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying you're ever going to be either one of those guys, but if you're going to model yourself after somebody, be the guy people like.
But let's real quick, because we hadn't talked about it. I thought Sean might have it there in his notes and everything. But one of the big contributing factors that Spielberg had with this movie was Stripe was supposed to be Gizmo. Gizmo was supposed to turn into Stripe and everything. And Spielberg was like, very late in the game, mind you, said, no, this should be Gizmo the whole time. And everybody's like, listen, he was right. But it caused a lot of panic. Like, we did not know what to do. We were like, oh, crap. Now they're taking him along, and they had to figure out how to, like, puppeteer this thing while they're moving and they're out and about. They're like, we didn't plan on any of this stuff. So they had to, figure out how they were going to solve that problem. Ultimately, though, it was the correct decision. And, it's Steven Spielberg, he kind of knows stuff.
That's a big part of where Spielberg's talent lies, is he can see the product, what it should look like when it's finished before it's ever made. And he knows this is a much better product with Gizmo in a Barbie dream car saving the day at the end than it is with humans killing these creatures that they irresponsibly cared for in the first place.
So there's two things I want to add on that I know that Spielberg contributed to this movie. The fact that he was like, because originally they wanted Gizmo to turn into Stripe, and Spielberg was like, no. And they kept showing Spielberg like, oh, this is what Gizmo is going to look like, and he kept saying, no, that's not right, that's not right, that's not right. And so somebody had the really smart idea of, somebody asked, does Spielberg have a dog? Do we have a photo of that dog? And so basically, the way that Gizmo is colored it's exactly like Spielberg's dog at the time. And so they kind of knew, if we put this in front of him, he's going to say yes to this, and he totally did. It totally worked.
That sounds like it was. It sounds like it was George Lucas's idea, by the way.
So that's part one. Part two is that in the screenplay, during different variations of the screenplay, right? Like, I don't know how many passes they did on the script, but like in the early stages, it's Billy Peltzer who ends up being the one who kills Stripe. And Spielberg says it's got to be Gizmo who ends up killing Stripe, because the name of the movie is Gremlins. It's not Billy Peltzer. The name of the movie isn't Billy Peltzer. And Billy Peltzer, Zach is pissed when he learns that flip happens. He's like, what the hell happened to me being the hero? And they're like, I don't know what to tell you.
It's the puppet.
This is a Spielberg note. This is a Spielberg note. And he's like, oh, well, I guess this is what we're going to do then.
They just, if he questioned him, they just showed him the box office of E.T. and you got an opinion now? How about you shut your mouth?
And I don't consider myself to be a very sophisticated writer at all, but even I know you got to have that balance. You know what I mean? It's like the structure of a story is you got to have the little cute guy save the day, not the person who created the problem. This is the last Spielberg thing I have, which is that they'd already cast Phoebe Cates because she's Phoebe Cates, and that just makes sense. Whenever you can get Phoebe Cates, you get Phoebe Cates. You don't get a Phoebe Cates lookalike. If she is available, you get Phoebe Cates, especially in 1984.
Put her in that Chun-Li outfit. That's what I call that one.
And so on her tape, she had read with Zach Galligan, who had auditioned with her in the past, right? Like they had done some sort of audition together before, so they knew each other. And so they're showing the, like actor A with actress B, right? That kind of thing. They've already got actress B. So now they need actor. And so they got to get approval from Spielberg on this actor, because they knew that it should be someone who isn't super famous, right? It should be someone that is like just out of nowhere, like, kid next door type of actor. And so Dante needs approval from Spielberg for casting Billy. And so Dante needed to cast Galligan because he could tell from when Spielberg saw the tape, he could tell from the tape. He's like, Galligan needs to be your star here. And when Dante asks him why, Spielberg could tell from the tape, he's like, because he's already in love with her in real life. We should cast him. And so that was it. Isn't that cool?
I had read that there was some producer resistance to Cates because she did that topless scene in Fast Times.
I don't know that. I would imagine probably so, because somebody's got to always put their 2 bits in. But like that would have been dumb.
For those of watching the stream, Bruce is now turned into Blofeld.
I couldn't picture anybody other than her in that role at this point. That's kind of the cool thing.
Well, I mean, they were talking to. It's kind of strange. It was always going to be Phoebe Cates. Like there wasn't somebody else. But for the Billy role, like they had Emilio Estevez read for him. They had Tom Hanks read for him, and ended up with Zach Galligan.
And I'm looking at the time. I know you've got a hard out a little bit later, Sean. So if I just wanted to talk a little bit about the nature of the Gremlins before we go down the home stretch and wrap this one up. Because I was one of those, I would say I've probably studied zoology more than either of you.
What?
Yeah.
How dare you? Don't know shit about me, Leslie.
So I've come back to look at these Gremlins, and I just want to ask you guys, like internally, your own theories. Do you picture these Gremlins as something that occurred in nature and lives in a jungle somewhere, and that they just found them and brought them, or do you think they're magical creatures? What do you think is the origin of these creatures that don't behave like any other living?
I feel like they're an alien type thing.
That's what my theory is. They come from space. Is that what you think, Shanzi?
Yeah, it is. It's an alien for sure.
Because they can't be carbon based if they can't drink water. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing that evolved on Earth that is allergic to water to that degree, or has to avoid water. They reproduce asexually, but yet they seem to have genetic variation, which suggests they have a high rate of spontaneous mutation, which would mean maybe they come from a place that had a much thicker atmosphere so that the radiation didn't get through, and now they have all these spontaneous mutations, because they should all be clones. They should all be identical in every way to Gizmo.
And one of them's a broad that wears a dress.
Well,
none
of them have genitals. They're asexual. These creatures do not have males or females, but they certainly have wardrobe choices.
That's
and
true.
Makeup choices. And the Flasher, I got a good.
The
look.
Flasher was funny. I'll say that.
That's
was
my favorite character.
And shows up in Gremlins too.
You can't. You can't stop those Flashers. That's for sure.
So listen, I'm just not going to be on the Dinger Zone this week because I've got so many notes here, and there's no way I did all this work, and we're not going to use it.
Let's hear it.
Okay. So I'm going to start with the notes that I took while watching the movie, and you guys just add your 2 bits too. Okay. So for me, the most unbelievable part of this movie is that there's a kid who is working as a bank teller and supporting a family of 3.
Yeah, Dad's such kind of a not so much guy. He's not really getting it done there. Mom's a homemaker and everything, and he's the one who's propping this family up, which what seems like a part-time job at the bank.
I want to write some slash fiction with Mr. Peltzer and John Candy's character from Planes, Trains.
Oh, by the way, Judge Reinhold.
The 2 of them in a hotel room together on a lonely night, snowed in.
Judge Reinhold, since we're talking about the bank here real fast, him popping in for a little kind of quick cameo and everything, kind of fun. I love how he's, just this. I love when he always plays, not always, but I love when he plays a kind of pompous asshole.
He does it well.
Mm-hmm. So great.
Also, it feels like there's something on the cutting room floor with him.
Yeah,
because that never gets resolved. Like the Gremlins don't go after that dude.
Yeah, they should have eaten his face off at some point.
Yeah. Next thing up, Chekhov's wall sword.
Oh yeah.
Where every time somebody opens the door, sword falls. You're like, well, that's going to show up later.
And if there's anybody who's going to notice a Chekhov sword, it's this guy.
It's true.
It's like, and we got dual swords. It's not just one. It's like, no, we get them 2.
I love the crisscross swords.
One of the things that drove me crazy about the Judge Reinhold scenes and other scenes with other characters in the movie is that something that movies never ever get right is when you're good looking and like bubble good looking, people are never mean to you. Like in real life, the old lady isn't threatening to kill his dog in front of his face. Like Judge Reinhold isn't calling him a loser. He's too good looking, right? So like the movies never get that right. That's the thing with Spider-Man too. When Tom Holland is Spider-Man, it's like that dude is good looking. Like no one is picking on him. Like they might be saying mean shit behind his back, but no one is ever going to be picking on this very, very handsome boy.
And if
It's
you're
ridiculous.
working at a bank and someone just goes, "I'm going to murder you and your dog," I'd be like, "Excuse me, bank manager, this person's threatening my life and the life of my dog. What is happening here? Get him out. You don't have to be polite to those people. Come on now."
Another thing that bugged me is, who the hell is Billy's mom cooking for in her introduction scene? She's chopping a mountain of onions. It's just 3 people coming that are going to have dinner there, right? So why is there's just this giant pile of chopped onions? It's crazy.
Just in case Corey Feldman comes over.
Or maybe the stop motion snowman who plays the dad just loves onions. Maybe, who knows?
Listen, that's a French onion soup household, and they'll be damned if you're going to sit there and have you poo on their Christmas tradition. All right, let them have their French onion soup.
Right. So here's another thing. So Dad knows the 3 rules of keeping the Mogwai, right?
Mm-hmm.
He knows it by the time that he brings Gizmo home. So Dad knows bright lights are going to affect Gizmo. So why doesn't he say anything to his wife when she's about to take pictures? Oh, you might want to hold off on that. There's going to be a flash. Sure, maybe he's absent-minded, but this is the thing where you're like, oh man, I just this is the newest thing in my life right now. They told me 3 things about it. I should probably warn the wife that flash photography is going to make this little fucker flip out.
Sean, how little you know. There's a deleted scene where Dad goes to the bar and gets real shit-faced. So he doesn't really, his reaction time a little bit slow. Not quite on the uptake there and everything. So that's kind of the problem. Is he's just he tied one on a little earlier is all. That's the excuse I'm giving him.
The biggest flaw of the movie is one of the 3 rules: don't feed him after midnight, because that one was even torn apart in the sequel. Joe Dante tore it apart himself in the sequel.
Yeah. And
it's so easy to fix. You change that rule to don't feed him between sunset and sunrise.
Right.
And that fixes the whole problem. So if I ever get a time machine, I'm going to whisper that into Dante's ear.
Oh.
That's all I'm going to do. I'm not going to kill any baby Hitlers. I'm going to go straight to Joe Dante.
No baby Hitler. Just fix this tiny little bit in Gremlins.
Perfect that would put it over the edge.
People always say when they're going to make a time machine that the first goal is to go back and kill Hitler. Not me. I plan on cloning Hitler and have them duke it out. Anyway, oh, man. You need a Hitler to kill a Hitler. Am I right?
Oh, that's true.
Anyway, so I got another question. This is another note. What happens when you hit a gremlin or a mogwai with a wet wipe? Is it enough moisture to hit to make them give birth? I guess is the right way.
Yeah, what if it's a real muggy day out, or it's foggy and there's a little bit of moisture there in the air? What's to do in there?
Right.
Do they just they're small ones that come out, or do they just burn out in little hives or something?
Like the morning dew on the grass.
Roll around in the grass and just pop out babies.
Here's another one. Do mogwais clean themselves the same way that a cat would?
Now they have listen, because we saw close-ups of it, which by the way, it was very cool. The close-ups, specifically very much of Gizmo, were all done on a giant 3-foot wide head there and everything that they made, so they could do all those close-ups. They were like, the other stuff's good, but we need stuff that looks real tight there and everything. So they got made a big old giant one with its ears and whatnot, and that's where they did all that stuff from.
I just kept thinking this too, just watching it, is that Gremlins just must stink. The stink.
They have a gerbil smell, I would imagine. Yeah.
You're talking about mogwai. Mogwai probably do smell like gerbils or hamsters. Or
I see.
Where there's that kind of funk. That's why you put the cedar shavings in, and so that you don't notice it so bad. But gremlins themselves must just stink to high holy hell. Because not only are they not clean as mogwai, but then they gestate. And they're cooking in their own juices, and then they pop, and it's just got to be the worst.
Sulfury for sure.
I feel it's the worst the worst aromas mammals have to offer mixed with the worst reptiles have to offer. That's
Yes.
kind of how I feel about them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Passing
And if
out.
you've never been around a stinky snake container, reptiles
yeah.
actually smell pretty
Damn
bad.
you,
They
stinky
smell
snakes.
awful, yeah. So here's my next note. If you don't find the scene with Billy Peltzer and Gizmo at the keyboard adorable, where he's playing the notes and Gizmo is singing with it, it means there's something wrong with you and you need to be checked by medical professionals. Now, with that being said, Adam, why don't you like this scene?
What are you talking about? It's the best. It's so
Okay,
good.
Thank goodness.
It's so good with the little cute hat there and everything.
God.
It's
God,
that like
get
if
outta
there's
here.
anything that you could point to be kind of like a Spielbergy type moment, that is certainly it. Where he's kind of like him, just kind of that little back and forth, that very kind of, human to animal sort of, conversation there and everything being done via music and stuff. It's very, very Spielberg-esque if there's anything that you can pull from it. So good.
So this is the only controversial thing I'm going to say about this movie, because it's always bugged me, even from when I was a kid. And I've never liked it about this movie. And it's that all the gadgets don't work. There isn't a single gadget that works. They all don't work. And even as a kid, I didn't like it. And I was never able to figure out why until I watched it this time around, because some of the gadgets should work. That way it's a surprise when some of them don't, right? Like, and it might actually be funny. Like you'd never laugh at the gadgets not working. It's more like, man, you idiot. Like, why would you do that to your phone?
What does
You
this
know?
do
Like,
as I point it directly at your face?
right, exactly. And so like it makes it way better if he has a win or two in there, like something to make him keep going.
I have a theory about Mr. Peltzer and why he's so bad with his inventions while he's on the road.
He's a stop motion snowman.
I think he had like some kind of office space job, and during the downturn in the economy in the late 70s, he got laid off and has this midlife crisis and doesn't know what to do. So he's decided he's going to be an inventor, even though he has no real skill in that. And this is him trying to redefine himself. That's my headcanon. This is a guy dealing with getting laid off at 50 or 55 or something. And what do you do then?
Were there not things that dealt cards automatically in '84? It feels like that was clearly already a thing.
Predates this movie.
I'm kind of surprised. I expected some pushback on that one. I guess I'm right.
I also think like there were probably automatic juicers by 84 of some sort.
So
I love the amount of juice that comes out of one orange. I'm sorry.
When the thing with Home Alone, where the reason why they leave Kevin behind is because the ticket gets thrown in the garbage, and
they counted the neighbor kid and stuff, so that kind of
right. Well, I think the thing that gets overlooked in Gremlins is that the entire reason why all the trouble with the Gremlins starts in the first place is because Corey Feldman is the one who spilled water on Gizmo. It was not Billy Peltzer. It was Corey Feldman.
No, listen, as is most awful things in the 80s, it usually starts with and ends with Corey Feldman, so that it makes nothing but sense at this point.
Did someone say Blofeld?
Feldman's he's got that awesome kid thing that you just need in this, that is just like, it's the wonderment. It's like the kid allowed, like, he knew it was fake, but he allowed himself to really believe that these little puppets and stuff were real, and it totally sells.
He's also got the best kid face in Hollywood at this point, because he's weird looking, but he's cute at the same time, and that's exactly what you want at that age. And he has got that nailed, man. And it doesn't hurt that he's got like a fun kid voice too, that is unlike any other voice you've ever heard. And he can act. Like, he is a good child actor, and it doesn't look like he's a kid trying to act. Like, he's just in the moment.
Yeah, he's always been very naturalistic.
He's got this weird quality that even though you have never in your life met a kid like him, he seems like a normal everyday kid. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, no kids actually like that, but he seems like he's totally believable compared to the other kids in movies.
Like you kind of, a Mouth-esque character from your life, somebody that's a little bit like that kid, not exactly, but there's bits of a Mouth that everybody's had in a friend at one point or another.
No, for sure.
Ralph Mouth.
Yes, we're talking about Ralph Mouth. So I had another thought that may destroy this movie for some people, where if Mogwai or Gremlin meat tasted good, this movie would be a very different kind of horror movie. Where they're just breeding them like chickens, only it's way easier to breed them. Like that.
It would kind of solve a world hunger crisis. There seems to be an unlimited supply. You have as many gremlins as you have raindrops in the sky.
It's like that Ben Franklin thing with hippos, where like you learn that like at some point Ben Franklin was like, well, we need to breed hippos because there's way more meat on them bad boys, and we'll just eat that all day. And people are like, I'm not eating a hippo, weirdo.
Hey, Ma, slice me another slice of that hippo. It is good.
Oh, have you tried the fried gizmo? Oh, it's so good.
Those little arms, though, they're very gamey. It's too much for me. I don't like it.
What's the name of that Korean movie about a pig that's like the size of a okja or something like that?
Okja.
Yeah, that would have been Ben Franklin's dream.
Right. Exactly right.
Could feed this village for a year.
Let's get to Dick Miller here. So Dick Miller, first of all, before we get into the job that Dick Miller does in this movie, which is pretty awesome, he does a great job at it. I would first like to thank the filmmakers for the restraint they showed by not having Dick Miller make a drunken pass at Phoebe Cates' character when he's drunk at the bar and she's walking him out.
Very true.
I am quite certain that was a conversation that was had at the very least. If it was never in a pass on the screenplay, it definitely was something that they spoke about at some point. And the restraint they showed by not having that happen. Thank you for letting me love the Dick Miller character all throughout this movie, even though he's kind of a dick.
Listen, we might have killed 58 people in this movie, but he's not going to harass that woman, damn it.
Mm-hmm. And Dick Miller had to be like Dante's Call, right? I mean, there's no way.
Sure.
Yeah, because he's in The Howling. He's in so
Rock and Roll High School.
Flicks.
Yeah, he's usually in a Dante movie for about 2 seconds, saying hi, bye, and
So if anybody tries to say someone else cast Dick Miller, I don't believe him. Sorry, I kept interrupting, Sean. I didn't.
No, it's fine. Yeah, I'm wondering why Kevin the other Dante guy, the guy who's in UHF is the main bad guy who runs the UHF station, who the old guy, take that ridiculous thing off, that guy, because he's a Joe Dante guy, but he's not in Gremlins. I wonder why Kevin, whatever his name is, isn't in it.
Maybe there's got to be a role.
Not enough money.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's what
okay,
it was.
we can only afford one or the other, not both.
I'm not going to be in this Steven Spielberg produced movie. Who is that even?
He had a scheduling conflict. He was doing Dancing with the Stars 1984.
So there are a couple of cardinal sins committed in this movie. One, as you guys know, it has to do with Christmas. It drives me crazy every time I see it in a movie. Carolers in a suburban neighborhood caroling to houses.
Hey, to be fair, they're not dressed up in traditional colonial garb or anything else like that. They're just regular folks, so you give them the credit where credit's due.
I'm not giving them any credit for having carolers in their movie. Get rid of that shit. Why do they still do that? Get out of here.
And once again, this is where I obligatorily let you know, Shanzi, that my neighborhood has carolers.
Man, they just want that figgy pudding. You know what I'm saying?
And your neighborhood is with the, like the choral kids and like,
yeah, my neighborhood is a kind of special neighborhood. So yeah.
Right. And like if those kids are walking down the street, like just some rando house caroling, like those people aren't standing on their front porch smiling. They're like, get out of here. How long do I have to stand here before these art kids are going to get out of my
gang members are surrounding the house? Let's go.
Right.
Oh, I'm going to Mrs. Deagle my own children this year when they come by our house.
So I look, I love Zach Galligan in this movie. I really do. I love the character of Billy Peltzer. I always have. But the character is not the smartest character in the world. And there's a couple of times where they show that. Like, so Phoebe Cates, he keeps trying to like dig into like, well, how can you not like Christmas? How can you not like Christmas? He asks her like 3 different ways, and she just gets madder and madder. And then he asks her out. And sure, she says yes. But I mean, come on, read the room, Billy Peltzer. You just pissed this girl off to no end. You hit one of her sore subject buttons, and then you're like, oh, hey, you doing anything Thursday? And luckily for you, you know, she was already revving that engine. But if she wasn't, that is a very, very dumb move.
Yeah, that's a high school move right there for sure. It's just like, hey, you're an idiot. Hey, you want to go out?
The only thing worse is that time Ryan O'Neal hit on his own daughter at a funeral. That was worse.
Ooh.
The black science teacher who's from different
world. Yeah, man.
I love that guy.
Yeah, the actor's name is Glenn Turman. He's damn near 80 years old, and I looked it up. Not only is he still alive, the dude is still working.
Golly.
Like, he has 3 credits in 2025. Come on, man, that's awesome.
I bet you he only looks 10 years older than he does in this movie too.
I think he looked a lot older in a different world than he did here, personally, and that's only 5 years.
I thought they olded him up for that.
They might have.
They might have.
Yeah, because his hair was gray is the biggest difference. And they could have just sprayed a little, hair gray on there or something.
That way I can go out to the club afterwards and nobody knows it's me.
For those of you who are watching this still, thank you for sticking around while I just show you all my work from this week. Thank you for that.
Look what I did.
But I want to let you know this. If you know that you're watching a really bad Gremlins breakdown, when they got to bring up that the logic flaw that literally every human being thinks of when they see this movie, which is there's an inventors convention on Christmas Eve. Like,
yes,
that
seemed odd to me.
Every single breakdown movie, like movie review show is going to bring that up. Yes, we understand it's weird. Everything about this movie is weird, but everyone brings that up all the time. Okay, next thing.
This is what my notes were like this week. So mine were all handwritten on little Chuck Woolery cards.
Oh, that's cool.
He's going 2 and 2 for everybody.
Man, we should start doing that. We should start doing that just so we can have the Letterman throw it thing.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
It was the thing I was doing when I was trying to make my YouTube channel a little talk show-esque.
So here's another thing I noticed. So all the other Mogwai, right? When they are birthed through Gizmo, they all come out and they're all pricks. All of them. They're all shitbags. Each and every one of them. So does that make Gizmo like the reject of his people because he's so nice and cute and fun to be around? The other ones are little shitbags.
Oh, it's inherent in their nature to be little devils, but he's kind of the wuss of the group.
Right. He's the one oddball.
My theory is that Gizmo is the Mogwai. Like, he is the first Mogwai that landed on Earth. And any other Mogwais are derived from him. And it's like the OG G1 Mogwai are sweet and normal, but it's the G2 and on down that get a little more sinister every time.
Or maybe it's the fact that it's not on their actual planet and everything, that they're getting birthed in those the situations or whatever are not
mutations.
Yeah, it's like we don't know what to do with this kind of atmosphere or whatever the hell they're doing. It's just like, oh, that's going to screw us up from the get-go.
Because once again, from a zoological genetic perspective, they should be identical clones to Gizmo, and they're not.
Mm-hmm.
This movie's bullshit. 1 star.
Just one note, very quick. Mike Armentrout! !
Love it. He's unrecognizable.
Guy hasn't had a good year. Never had a good year. Like, where you're like, man, you are killing it in this picture, dude.
Looking stellar.
No one's ever said that to that actor. and he is great. I love that guy. But my God, man, I wish he had a good year. But so another note, and this is just from my sphere of influence. I am sure this has happened previously, but I couldn't think of one. So maybe you guys can. Is this the first pop culture reference of old lady with a ton of cats living by herself? I could not think of one watching this movie.
I think you have that one potentially nailed, Sean. That's something I never ever thought about before. I was more focused on, is this the source of the urban legend about the lady that tried to warm up her cat in the microwave and it explodes? I think that has to be a direct response to this movie, but I never thought about the other cat related trope.
I kept thinking, is this chair that brings this lady up the stairs? Is that in some other movie? That's why I just kept looking. I'm like, what is this in? Was this in like The Changeling or something? What was this?
Those chair lifts were not an uncommon thing for.
Oh yeah, and like I said, it's all the sets are reuses, so there's a good chance this was somebody who was. This is another movie's gag as well.
I'm trying to remember if George C. Scott rode one of those up the stairs in The Changeling, and I just can't recall.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Second cardinal sin committed by this movie. Billy turns on the radio in his car, and immediately W Exposition Radio.
Oh, I love W Exposition Radio. They're the greatest, man. They're always on point, and they are always, when you turn the radio on, right at the sentence that you need. Thank God. No one ever just goes, "Hey, Julie, you're a," or whatever zoo thing that they do. I don't know. I don't listen to radio anymore.
I love it near the end of the movie when Exposition Radio says the National Guard surrounded the town and they're going to turn fire hoses on those things. And, of course, that's not what you want them to do. But that was something like I picked up on first time stuff here. The name of the doctor is Dr. Molinaro that they go to, the medical doctor. But in the opening scene it's not the opening scene. It's after the cold open in Chinatown. But when he's walking through the town square because his car won't start, he passes the doctor and he says, "Hi, Dr. Moreau." Right. And I think that's kind of like a little foreshadow to the sort of movie we're getting into here, because the doctor's name is Molinaro, not Moreau. But I don't think that Billy just made that mistake. I think that was intentionally placed.
Oh, of course, man. Yeah, Joe Dante's too good a filmmaker for that.
Those guys, they know.
We might want to. You might want to cut this out when we're not doing this live. Just because this idea, it might be $1 million idea, like for real.
Okay.
So when the Gremlins are at the bar, right, and they're hanging out and they're drinking and all that, I immediately had the thought, you could open up a Gremlins themed bar right now, even right now, and you would make $1 million. People would show up for that all the time.
Imagine how booked your banquet room would be during Christmas.
You would make a bloody fortune.
I did watch this, and because we are on all these, backlot sets and everything else like that, it gave kind of a very Universal Studios vibe, and it felt like you could walk through this ride at any moment and see, that felt like the line that you would go through would have all these gremlins popping out of the walls and stuff like that, and doing all kinds of. I'm like, this feels like there could have been some sort of Gremlins. I guess Six Flags owns Warner Brothers, or at least they did at one point. So maybe that's where that would have been.
That is a great idea, though, Sean. I know it would be the only place I would ever eat again.
Listen, if I'm going to start drinking again, I'm drinking with Stripe. Red Stripe. Boom, bang, boom. The
drink specials write themselves.
Billy Peltzer is an idiot, part 2. So Phoebe Cates is telling Billy the story about her dad, and she's just saying the worst day of her life, just spilling her guts out to him. And he's checking to see if the phone works, and he's looking around, and it's like, hey, how about you pay some attention, Billy Peltzer?
I noticed that this time. This time I noticed that. I was just like, he's not paying attention to anything. She's poured her heart out about like the worst day of her life and everything. And he's just like, what's happening here? Is this working? And hello? No shit. All right. Well, what are you saying something about your dad?
That is such a Bruce thing to do too, unfortunately.
What was that? What was that you said? Something about the worst day of your life? Yeah. You want to make out?
Anywho.
That's a Chauncey thing to say.
So my next note here, the Gremlins watching Snow White is still better than a lot of the audiences I've seen movies with in Atlanta. At least the Gremlins are paying attention to the movie.
They're having fun. They're
having
singing
a
along.
good time. I love that Snow White.
I do
I've
love the
always
whole
had-
scene because they're watching Snow White and they love it. And they're having such a good time. Like, I kind of love that they're loving it. I think that's such a great thing that like all of and there's a gajillion of them in there and they're all dressed different and funny. And it's just like, there's so much fucking work that went on into this for this silly little gag. And I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been fascinated with movie theaters. They've always been a special place to me. If I'm feeling down in the dumps, I can go to the mall, sit outside the movie theater, smell the popcorn, and feel better. And as a kid, my mind was blown the way that the screen was just a strip of cloth, and that there was room behind it, and it could be rear projection, front projection, all this kind of thing. And then when the Gremlins start tearing through the screen, it was just such an amazing scene, something I never even considered. Of course, after the movie, I'm really itching to go up and like scratch on the screen, which is not what 10-year-olds should do after movies. I didn't do it, but I really wanted to. But that's probably, that whole sequence might be my personal, like, most emotionally connected favorite part. Just movies were a way to get away from Eastern Kentucky when I was a child.
Gentlemen, Robert's got a fantastic question here in the chat. And he says, how are they able to drink?
Yeah. It's an excellent
They're drinking
point, Robert.
beers like nobody's business. How's this happening? It's a very good question. I don't know.
What we don't realize is they're not actually drinking beer, that is some kind of oil-based cleaning solution that gets them drunk.
Falls under the era of never you mind.
Now, I got a question for you, which is, did Quentin Tarantino steal that one plot from Inglourious Bastards from Gremlins?
I mean, he definitely pays homage to much lesser movies than Gremlins.
I could totally see him just, being a coked out prick, just like I don't like that bullshit. That's bullshit. That movie sucks. I hate that movie. Like, of course he would say something like that. So another thing, didn't realize until this watch that Frank Welker is the voice of Stripe, but of course he is.
But yeah, I mean, again, you need some sort of animal voice. That's who you're going to go to.
Mm-hmm.
They kept him in a cage and let him out to do sound work back then.
And these are the only bits that I didn't say earlier that I took from the oral history. So yes, we talked about how Chris Columbus was 23 when he wrote the screenplay, but the original draft was rated R. And there's a scene that got scrapped where Billy shows up at a McDonald's where the people have been eaten by the Gremlins, but the food is untouched, which you just find so great.
They did say in the commentary, they were just like, yeah, this movie was what we got initially was quite darker than what ended up on screen.
Yeah, the original script had Billy coming home and his mother's decapitated head rolling down the stairs.
Oh, right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wait, hold on.
Fortress Bucks.
Matt says, maybe Gizmo is a pure Buddhist ideal and the other Mogwai are evil because they no longer are part of the pure ideal self.
Works for me, man.
That's some insidey kind of stuff right there. And I figured that sounds like a Matt thing. He would have that's right up his alley. That kind of.
I think Matt has unknowingly just made the first step towards that new religion I've been wanting to create all my life. Gizmosis.
Gizmosis.
You've always wanted to create a religion? He
wants to be the charismatic leader.
Not all my life, but ever since I saw the first advertisement for Dianetics.
Oh, I see. You want a fake ass
TBS.
religion where you can build idiots. That's what you want.
I just remember hearing the L. Ron Hubbard quote that the best way to become a billionaire is to start a fake religion or something like that. So I just always thought,
done.
He needs the right stuff.
Done.
He was a writer.
Gizmosis.
So this is my last note. Thank you for sticking with me, boys. The last note I have from the oral history is from Howie Mandel. His inspiration for Gizmo's voice, a young kid choking on a piece of cake.
It's not super dry, it's just moist enough, but he's kind of a little bit of that action.
I believe him. I actually believe him that is the inspiration for it.
And I think the biggest cultural impact of this movie is that to this day, I think people who've never even seen this movie will shout out, light bright, if you turn on their bedroom light first thing in the morning and they're not ready.
Pretty good.
All right, let's we got a couple of questions here to ask because we need to figure out if this is a Christmas movie.
I'm keeping score.
We do. So look, this might be somebody's first podcast that they've ever seen us, so I'm going to go through this again. So the idea is this. Every Christmas movie has to take this test. They're yes or no questions. You get a point for each yes. If a movie gets a 5.5 or higher, it's a Christmas movie. If it's lower, it isn't. Question 1. Is Christmas the single most important element of this movie? Adam.
Yeah, I think so. No Christmas, this movie doesn't take place.
That's exactly what I was going to say is Mr. Peltzer isn't bringing a Mogwai home if not for Christmas.
Nope.
It's the story of a Christmas present and its consequences.
It is. It is the most important plot device of this movie. Yes. So we're all on yes for number 1. Number 2. If it were any other time of year, would it change the movie, Bruce?
It will, because I've seen Gremlins 2, which is set closer to President's Day or Abraham Lincoln's birthday, because Phoebe Cates starts to go on a diatribe about why she hates President's Day or something like that.
It's New Year's Eve, isn't it? New Year's Eve.
You know what? I think it is. You're correct.
It is New Year's Eve.
Hating Abraham Lincoln's birthday. Anyway, it doesn't work if it's not Christmas. You change it to the summer, and you got swimming pools everywhere. You got rainstorms. You know, if it's not winter, then you've always got the element of rain. But since it's winter, you've got snow falling from the sky, which chemically is water, but to the person viewing this, to the 10-year-old watching this movie,
right,
snow isn't water. So yeah, if it's got to be when it doesn't rain, or it just totally undoes the whole movie.
Portress.
Well, one more time.
If it were any other time of year, would it change the movie?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Again, just like the first question, these are almost intrinsically tied to each other here. Not always, but in this particular case, they are. Without Christmas, this doesn't happen. So you can put it in summer, but that ain't gonna work.
Number 3, that's a yes from me too. Number 3, other than props, set dressing, and soundtrack, can you tell it's Christmas? I am going to say, if I'm going first, I'm saying yes. Portress.
Yeah, it's Christmas all day long here. I mean, you know, outside of everything, they are constantly referring to it in one way, shape, or form. We got not only the decoration, but the people, and we're actively
you know that
talking
I got
about
3 minutes, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go, Shanzi. We got yes.
Yes. Number 4, do any of the plot lines deal with any of the core 4 meanings of Christmas: family, nostalgia, generosity, or hope? Bruce.
I think family. You got the Peltzer family. You've also got the story about how Phoebe doesn't have a family. I'm going to say yes.
Yeah, family's important. It counts.
Agreed. Number 5, does someone dressed as Santa make an appearance? Yes, he do.
Yep. And even Gizmo is a little Santa.
That's right. I forgot about that, Lord. He's a Dickens. Number 6, does it feel like a Christmas movie? Bruce.
Yes.
I say yes.
Yeah, definitely a Christmas movie. It's all over Christmas.
It feels like a Christmas movie to me too. Number 7 is.
It felt like a Christmas movie because I saw it in July and thought, man, it's weird to watch a Christmas movie in July.
Number 7, is this a movie you would only watch during the holiday season? No. You'd watch it during Halloween. You'd watch it any time of year because it's just a fun movie.
Yeah.
Day ending in Y.
Yeah, it's nice around Christmas, but certainly not a necessity.
Is this reasonably anyone's favorite Christmas movie? That is a yes from me, dog.
Yes, for me, dog.
Yeah, come on, some horror nerd. This is absolutely their favorite kind of their Christmas movie here and everything. It's right up somebody's alley.
It might be my favorite Christmas movie.
It's in my top 5 for sure, and I'm not a horror hound. Number 9, does this movie make Christmas seem magical in some way? Yes, it does for me.
A freaking little alien thingy majigger, came out of nowhere. It's like, yeah, it gets beyond magical.
And Robbie the Robot. I mean, what says magic like it's like Robbie the Robot not only being real but using a payphone.
Gift of
Just
the
amazing.
Gift of the
Mogwai.
Mogwai. Oh, Robert Barney, I'm writing a short
dang,
story.
that's what we named that third one. Number 10. Could this movie reasonably fill someone with the Christmas spirit? I say yes. What say you,
I
boys?
say yes.
Yeah, 100%. You can certainly get all Christmassy with this one for sure. Even if
Awesome.
your dad died in the chimney.
All right.
So that's it for me, boys. It is 5 of Phoebe K. Tudors for me. I love this movie so very much, and I will talk to you boys next week.
All right, so
Bye,
Sean's
everyone.
kicking
Have
the
a good
game
one.
here. Bruce, what is your star rating and recommendation for Gremlins?
Oh, this is 5, man. It's 5 boughs of holly, 5 stockings hung by the chimney with care, 5 what did they say up on the rooftop? Click, click, click. 5 rooftop clicks. This is 5 of whatever you want.
5
This
rooftop
is-
clicks for you.
This is as good as any movie I've ever watched in my life.
Wow. Yeah, for me, this is a high recommendation for Gremlins. Everybody has seen Gremlins, and if you haven't, shame on you. Change that up this holiday season and make your life a little bit better in the meantime. Yeah, Gremlins is great. Again, it's one of those, like, rewatching this time, I kept going, PG-13 doesn't exist. It doesn't exist till after Gremlins 2, as a matter of fact. But while watching this, I'm just going, so many people are dying. Like, Gremlins die, people die, like a lot of death in this movie. And it's all just glossed right over. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. But yeah, man, Gremlins is always going to have that certain little place in my heart there and everything. So big recommendation on Gremlins. I'm going to go 5 stars on Gremlins. I know it's a wild take there to be super appreciative of that movie. That is it for this episode, everybody. We hope you all have a fantastic Christmas and whatever possible other holidays might be out there that you're jamming on. Or if you're just kicking back, we also like that too. Just do whatever you want to do, but make sure you hit the like and subscribe button for this show. Come back next week because we're talking the holdovers from 2020. I believe it's 2 or 3. 3. I think it's 23.
I think you're right.
So we'll be talking about that, and I'll be working on my Paul Giamatti impression, so we can do that really good. You always just kind of have to shout like you need a little bit of fiber. You know, one of those where it just sounds like you're just trying to help yourself out. So we'll be doing a little bit of that next week. In the meantime, Bruce, where can we find more of your work on the internet?
You can always check out the Anime Dad channel. We have our own review there. Me and my wife reviewed Gremlins over there where we got to talk about things. And we got to say some different things than were said here. So it's worth going and watching. It's not just going to be a repeat of what you saw here.
Very nice. Check me out on TikTok Trash Tuesday, where I go on YouTube and take TikToks that are movie related and yap about them on the internet. We laugh, we cry, we make fun of people. It's what we do on the internet. It's kind of my wheelhouse. So that'll be on Tuesday. Wednesday, which is Christmas Eve, my plan is, fingers crossed here, we hope we can kind of pull this off, is to do a little live stream with some public domain Christmas movies and stuff like that, and hang out with folks in the chat and stuff like that.
When are you going to do that?
On Christmas Eve.
I might be interested in hanging out.
We'll
with
have you
if
stop
don't
by,
mind.
and you know what I want to do? I'm going to see what you think about this. I want to then put the contact information in our Patreon so we can have Patreon people jump in on the live stream.
Oh, this
How
needs
about
to be
that?
a new Christmas Eve tradition.
How
I want to
about
be part
that?
of this if you
We
got
can-
room for me. Al.
Heck yeah, we can bring the gang in here, and anybody that wants to pop on by like a little Mr. Rogers neighborhood, say a little hi, and we'll be drinking some eggnog and watching some public domain Christmas movies and having a blast. So
We'll probably
check us
get
out there.
various members of the Leslie family to join us.
Heck
doing
yeah,
that,
man.
Probably.
So just get yourself that subscription over there at the YouTubes. It's free, for crying out loud, and hit that bell notification so you know when we're going live and all that kind of fun stuff. And we hope to see you there on Tuesday and Wednesday evening, and of course back here on Sunday evenings as we do HMP every Sunday evening, 8 p.m. Eastern. And one more quick thing. I reviewed Avatar Fire and Ash over on the YouTube channel as well. Did a little live stream there where I talked for about a half hour about the movie and, just a little bit of this, that, and the other. But hopefully you'll find it entertaining. So if you're curious about the new James Cameron joint, check that out as well.
Can I make a live stream request for next weekend, like post Christmas, maybe?
Okay.
if you've got any time, I would love for me and you to talk about the new Anaconda movie if you ever go to it.
Yeah, well, yeah, we can handle that. Yeah.
Because I, for some reason, super excited about that one.
I've yet to even see a trailer, and now I don't want to, as a matter of fact, because I'm too far in and I don't know nothing. And like, to me,
if you know nothing, that is a good way to go in.
There's moments where I've gotten to in life now where I'm just like, I don't even want to know. Like, if I like, 'cause I went to see Drop early this year. I literally knew the name was Drop. It was from Blumhouse. That was it. I knew nothing. It was amazing walking in and just being like, "What? I don't even know what I'm watching today." And then you're like, "Oh, this is pretty fun." And so, we'll do that as well.
Way I saw the Crying Game, I was like, I have a couple hours to kill. What's getting ready to start?
Huh?
Like, no lie, I just jumped into the Crying Game because it was convenient.
Man, Forrest Whitaker wasn't even that surprised. That is it, everybody. Join us next week when we're talking the holdovers from 2013 or from 2023. What the fuck my brain's doing? For the now absent Sweet Sean's and Kovacs from the internet, Bruce Leslie, I'm Adam Porters, reminding you to get out there and watch some movies. Yeah, dirty babies.
Now is this a Christmas movie? Now is this a Christmas movie? Now is this a Christmas movie? Or is it dumb slop?